by 2 explosions. Its crew abandoned ship when it realized there was still one unexploded mine attached to the hull. The U.S. then watched and recorded an Iranian patrol boat coming alongside and removing the unexploded mine from the tanker's hull.
Fucking ragheads.
In effect, making off with the evidence.
Fucking ragheads.
That's one reason Secretary of State Pompeo laid the blame squarely on Iran.
It is the assessment of the United States government that the Islamic Republic of Iran is responsible for the attacks that occurred in the Gulf of Oman today.
Imagine that.
The attacks came on the same day
Fucking
Japan's Prime
raghead.
Minister Abe was in Iran meeting with the supreme leader Ayatollah Khamenei in an effort to ease tensions, which had been building ever since the U.S. dispatched an aircraft carrier and B-52 bombers to the region in response to intelligence of imminent Iranian attacks.
The supreme leader's government then insulted Japan by attacking a Japanese oil tanker just outside of Iranian waters, threatening the lives of the entire crew, creating a maritime emergency.
The crew from one of the tankers was taken aboard a U.S. Navy warship. The 23 members of the other crew were taken aboard an Iranian naval vessel and are still in Iranian hands. One U.S. official said it's not clear if the crew was in fact rescued or is being detained as possible hostages against the threat of a U.S. military attack.
Fucking ragheads.
But Margaret, just a short time ago, the U.S. Central Command, which controls operations in the Persian Gulf, put out the following statement. We have no interest in engaging in a new conflict in the Middle East. We will defend our interests, but a war with Iran is not in our strategic interest, nor in the best interest of the international community. Margaret?
David Martin at the Pentagon. Here with me is Michael Morrell, a former acting CIA director and CBS News senior national security contributor. You just heard David Martin describe what the Pentagon says is not a fight they're looking for. Diplomacy is the first foot forward. So how much risk is there of this becoming a military conflict?
Margaret, I don't think the United States will respond militarily here because we were not
Damn well
attacked
should.
directly. And I think that would be a predicate for the president to respond militarily. But I think the risk of conflict is growing, and I think it's growing dangerously. And I think the way it could play out is that one of our allies, the United Arab Emirates or Saudi Arabia, would respond to this attack or another attack like it to deter the Iranians, and that would escalate into a broader conflict that could draw us in.
Today, Iran's top diplomat called the timing of this suspicious, trying to distance themselves from it. So why would they go through with an attack?
They are under a tremendous amount of pressure because of the sanctions that we've put on them. Their economy is suffering.
Poor
Their
babies.
response here is to try to get the rest of the world to put pressure on us to ease up. And they want to do that by raising oil prices and creating an atmosphere of a risk of war. I think it ultimately backfires on them, Margaret, and they end up more isolated.
Mike Morrell, thank you very much for your analysis. Another big story that we are following.